So, hello, we are back again in the chapters track, and we continue our presenting from Georgia, from Tbilisi, Georgia. And here with us is Lela, the president of PMI Tbilisi, Georgia chapter. Lela, hello, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Good
Well,
morning. Dobro utro.
oh, thank you, thank you. Dila Mshvidovica to you.
Right.
So it was a good morning from Lela to us. She said it in Bulgarian, and I said it in Georgian. So what an international presentation, and what an international event we have. Welcome, Lela. Welcome to this event, to this 3-day event. I hope we will have wonderful sessions and here today with you, and all the 3 days, and you will enjoy your time with us.
Thank you for this invitation and this opportunity to join this amazing group of people who are eager and passionate about project management. Thank you for inviting me and having on this conference.
Sure, pleasure is all ours. So, Leila, we are making a little research here on every chapter and its special symbol that is implemented in the logo of the chapter. So, in your chapter, you have the symbol like sun or rose. Can you tell us more about the symbol of your chapter? What does it represent?
Sure. I can tell you that this is the sign of the freedom and eternity. So this is very old symbolic sign, and actually we have this sign on our rugby team, and we are really eager and happy to have good rugby team.
Oh, great! That's very nice. Very interesting story behind your symbol. Well, and your presentation today, what is it about?
Well, it is about how PMI Tbilisi, Georgia chapter has developed and what innovations we are using and how we are using those innovation and creative ideas to implement our projects during the year, how to give value to our members and volunteers.
Perfect. So go ahead and tell us some more and start your presentation, please. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction, and hello everybody from different countries and different time zones. I'm really happy to have you all here and attending my session. During this session, I will try to answer the question why it is interesting for you to attend any session about innovation. Well, innovation is not just a knowledge how to innovate. This is, you would agree, skill. And skill cannot be acquired in one day or even in 1 month, right? So to acquire the skill, we will need some knowledge. To hear how it can be acquired, read it, listen to it, and also hear from your colleagues who are doing the same but in different countries with the different perspectives, different approaches, and cultural different, because sometimes I found out that my colleagues from different countries are using such brilliant ideas. I'm amazed, how come I didn't come before this? But it's always to adapt to them and use them. I will talk about who we are on today's session and also what we do specifically. I call it more of the plan and actions, how we execute our projects. So we start. Before I dive into the meat of our presentation, a little bit of myself. As Todor mentioned, I am Lela Machaidze and I am PMP. I'm in project management for 12 years more in executive positions, and I'm really eager about anything that happens with the project management. Um, Some of you may have heard about Georgia. Some of you may have already visited Georgia. But for those of you, a couple of words where I'm from. I'm originally from Georgia, and actually, the country is located between the two seas, Black and Caspian Sea, and we have a couple of facts about the country. The population is not too big. It's about 3.7 million. The language we speak, it's a unique language. It's called Georgian language, and we call ourselves Kartveli. Usually, we are mixed with the state of Georgia in United States, but we always say, no, it's not us. The name of our chapter was also derived from this assumption. We thought if we call the chapter PMI Georgia chapter, everybody would think this is the state of United States. No, this is country of Georgia. A couple more facts about Georgia. We have our unique alphabet, and you can see it. This is unique, one of 15 unique alphabets from all over the world. Also, we are called as a cradle of wine, and we are really proud of it. Our neighbors are Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkey, and Russia. So we are in between, we are located in the Caucasus region and really have diversity of people living in Georgia. So I want to say a couple of words how we started the chapter. The chapter started in 2013. I'm sure some of you are chapters in development and potential chapters in foundation stage. So for us, it took more than 5 years to establish that chapter. In 2013, I happened to have attended the Global Congress of PMI, where I met different chapter representatives and presidents like Mihail, like Simona, and other guys from different chapters. Unfortunately, I looked up for the chapter in Georgia and we didn't have one. So I was pretty surprised that we didn't have this community, and I reached the PMI corporate how we can have a chapter in Georgia. So it seems that we need to have consent and agreement from at least 25 PMP holders in the country. I looked up, I requested the information from PMI Corporate, and we happen to have in Georgia 27 PMP holders in 2013, including myself. So what I did, I reached all of the 26 PMP holders and obtained consent from them that they are willing to have a chapter. Also, during the discussions, I found out that some of the PMP holders were also as eager to have a chapter in Georgia as I was. So this is how we formed the board of directors. Those days we called it the steering committee, and the people who were really passionate about having the chapter in Georgia. So the journey has started in 2015, and we started preparation of the multi-year business plan. It took us a really long period to have approved it. Iterations, about more than 10 iterations with the PMI corporate. But we were very lucky to have a support from Brussels office and to have support from our mentor, Laszlo. He was supporting us all the way through. And that day came on 2017 year, we were granted the status of the chapter information. In 2018, finally, we established the chapter, and now we have the board of directors. Currently, we have just a few positions filled. I'm president myself, and we have director for communication and marketing and media. We have director for education and development, professional development, director of finance, and of course, director of members and volunteers. Actually, good experience with PMI that we really experienced was that we had e-elections. The structure that PMI follows, it is very interesting. The e-election, the structure and how it is done was pretty new for us, and we also had the steering committee who used to study how this election is done independently and acquiring all the skills and have a knowledge about the tools. So these are the people who move the PMI and who work in the PMI Georgia chapter today. This is the second round of the board, and these people contribute their time and the capacity. How many members do we have? Actually, the numbers of the members has decreased in 2020. Of course, as everywhere in all over the world. Pandemic affected the membership as well. Right now, we have 74 active members, and we are really proud. Most of them are active members, and numbers we hope to they will increase in the nearest future. We are implementing different activities to create the value for them and trying to be innovative. The membership is really important, and as you know, the members are all volunteers, but we also have a pool of the volunteers themselves. The numbers have increased. The first year was a really amazing year where we had more volunteers joined. About 28 volunteers have joined for the first year. The number of the new volunteers have dropped the joining in the following years, 13 and 6, as you see. And this year, we have a new director of membership and volunteers, and number has increased. Why the number of the volunteers have increased? Because we are implementing different innovative ideas, different activities which attracts the volunteers, give them more agility, give them more freedom to how to come up with the ideas, and I will share with those projects and activities and ideas we are implementing. So what we do, the actions and projects and how we do that. The first is the series of meetings. Before the pandemic, we used to have different physical meetings, and one of the values that the chapter can deliver, this is the networking, this is acquiring and sharing face-to-face the ideas and challenges, new methodologies we use at our projects. But this has actually changed during the pandemic and afterwards. Still, we don't really run any physical meetings, and as this conference, we also have different webinars. So our focus, as well as PMI's focus, is derived to introduce project and change management career to our youth. And specifically, we try to reach the medical universities, and our director of the education, he conducted very useful webinar with the medical university in Georgia, because actually during the pandemic, we now focus more on the medical institutions, how the education is done there, and how we can support those institutions. Also, we conducted the sessions with the Civil and Construction Engineering Club at Lela State University. And actually, each of those webinars, when we introduce what is the project management profession, what is the change management, what is the link between, and what is the career path, during those sessions, of course, students and attendees get really interested in this position, and they join our chapter just to volunteer, just to have a mentorship and on-job like mentoring, how to run the projects properly according to the methodology. We also will have different thematic webinars for chapter volunteers, like to introduce what is the link between the project management, and that we all project managers are change makers. So the main purpose which carries those series of the meetings are that what is the profession of project manager, and we share our experience. As a practitioners, we talk about how we implement the projects and what are the lessons learned and methodologies and tools. Also, what we do, we partner with the youth agencies. For example, to follow our SDG goals 4 and 17, we have conducted the meetings with the national agency and partnering with the youth agency of Georgia. This is in line with the PMI vision strategy 4. So we provided also the opportunities to youth agencies how they can use the knowledge and the skills of in project management. Actually, the partnering with the agencies and associations, this is the innovative approach that we are using this year. We have also done partnership with the different associations and programs, like program of the junior achievement in Europe. This is the big umbrella program with the PMIEF and Junior Achievement Europe, and they have programs in different countries in Europe. One of the programs is implemented in Georgia, and the implementer local, we have a memorandum of understanding with the local implementers. So this is also another innovation we are carrying. We continue to care and to work about youth education. Youth education is the future, and the youth is the future of PMI. So we want them to see the value. How we do that? We give them freedom. I'm really thankful to our director of the education who really innovatively gave the flexibility to the group of volunteers. A group of volunteers who were eager to create and to support the chapter, but there was not really the specific idea what project they could do. And here comes all the innovation. He gave the flexibility to those young youth who were volunteering for the chapter, and gave the flexibility to come up with idea what could be useful and what is needed in Georgia to promote the project management in youth. There were brainstormings, there were different ideas, but what I'm really proud, this is the podcast, PMI Georgia podcast in Georgian language. As I mentioned at the beginning of the session, we are just 3.7 million population, and there are no official material by PMI in Georgian language, which limits the access to the books and material that we have. So we always struggle to have the professional interpretation. So in this case, the professional project managers volunteered to have a podcast, series of podcasts about the basics of the project management. What is the difference, for example, agile and waterfall methodologies? What is the basics of the project management? And all this is done by the volunteers as well as this conference, for example. And we are really proud that it supports educating youth how and what are the benefits of the project management. Another really interesting and innovative approach that we used was the partnership with the coaching federation. I'm sure you have in your country International Coaching Federation, and we have partnered with them. Of course, the sessions were conducted again in Georgia, but it was like a bridge to share the ideas how coaches can benefit from the project management, and what are the tools that project managers can use from the coaching, because one of the skills a project manager needs is a coaching as well as mentoring and other skills. But the coaching is really an important skill that project manager needs. So it was a very well received sessions, series of sessions, and we are expecting to have a memorandum of understanding and have further collaboration with this federation in Georgia. It was very well received and productive. Um, Now, besides, we also have partnered, as I mentioned, with the Junior Achievement in Georgia. The program entails education in entrepreneuring and project management skills, not only the pupils of the schools, and we cover about 30 schools, but also the teachers and the people who are in the administration at the schools. And we, as a practitioners, will participate on those sessions and introduce the practical benefits of the project management to the pupils. As I mentioned, the material of project management is not available in Georgian, and we are adopting all the material, and the Junior Achievement Program has developed the material, a big set of material for the pupils in collaboration with PMIEF, and we are involved in the process of reviewing those materials and seeing how it concises and is this in line with the understanding of project management language. So we are really happy to have also this collaboration. The approach which I am describing right now is it differs from the approach that we have partnership approaches earlier, before 2021, because the partnership we were associated, it was more of the sponsorship for the events. But right now, the partnering with the association entails the exchange of the educational and workshop sessions with the partnering associations, where our volunteers, project managers, share their knowledge in their specific area where they work. So another good example of the innovation is the partnering with the small and medium entrepreneurs association. We started just recently this partnering, and it actually gives opportunity to reach not only the big corporations like financial institutions, but also the small and medium organizations, which also doesn't really have a capacity to have a methodology in project management implemented in their organizations. Actually, those are, for example, startups. Those are small organizations, not only in the cities, but also in the rural areas, and their focus will be also work with the rural areas. And we are happy to be involved in this path, because we believe that the education should be accessible to everybody, so the language should not be the barrier. So we are contributing to this. Now, also, we started collaborating with the consulting companies, collaboration with the getting them to our members. And what it entails, it has different pillars. And innovation is in that our members are willing to provide workshops, to provide presentations and give their practical advices to those who are interested in. And audit and consulting company has also interest in spreading the idea about the project management. So we are working with them together, giving the value to members to have a chance to present their knowledge to the different audience. So we call them different bubbles, different audience. So usually project management in one bubble, we have one network, but the audit and the consulting companies have also their own network. So we want somehow to collaborate with other networks and association, and this is one of the examples. As I mentioned, we tried to be innovative and use all the available technical tools. For example, Clubhouse. As soon as it came, we started the Clubhousing. Right now, we are a little slow and we haven't done any events so far, but it was very interesting when it was the new tool. We were in line and we were trying to keep up what was happening, and we had this session in Clubhouse. Also, the good initiative, actually, people during the pandemic and even now are missing the networking. So usually the speaker presents herself or himself to the event, and the participants are not really having a chance, they're not having a chance to present themselves. So we thought that would be innovative idea was that we give 1.5 minutes to everybody who will join the meeting to introduce themselves and talk about themselves. Actually, the meeting was really well attended, and it was a nice networking session. Again, for the scale probably that we have in Georgia, it is acceptable. For the chapters, probably chapter can also exercise this and still do these networking events in their chapters. So also what we did different webinars about products and what is the product versus product in projects. So it was nice discussion about different presenter perspectives. Also, it was presented by the volunteers from the different sectors like financing, like gambling, and also the construction sectors. So it was also the innovative idea. Different sector speakers presented their perspective of the product. What we also tried to do was that we tried to collaborate more with the different chapters. So, for example, we tried to find the ways to collaborate with the Kazakhstan chapter and talk about digital revolution. Also, we collaborated and found the speaker with the help of like Lithuania chapter. So it was very nice collaboration, and actually, the question probably you would ask, what is there innovative? You could have done it even before the pandemic. Yes, we had that chance to do the collaboration, but because we were meeting each other physically and seeing at the regional meetings and the conferences, the speed was very slow. So we were like having a frame and a bubble in our country, but now this bubble has no boundaries. So we're trying to reach more other countries outside and reach for speakers in other countries. Also, for example, the collaboration that we had with Hungary chapter and the Bulgaria chapter invited us to speak on this conference is a big opportunity to share the innovative ideas that we had. I'm sure those ideas are not innovative for most of you, but the collaboration activities, the information that we do can be useful for some that are just thinking to do these activities. So we spent about the quarter only quarter three. We spent about 50 volunteer hours only for the youth and social good outreach. What we do, we have reached more than approximately 100 kids that have learned what is project management, who is the project manager, who is the change maker, and what change management means. So we, as the volunteers in chapter, believe that we are making difference for our country, and we are making difference to the profession. So whatever we do, we believe that we are making a big difference. We use the different resources, and actually I have listed here different resources we have used. Those resources are available for PMI members, and those are resources free, which are pretty interesting, and anybody who is interested in having some materials, some articles and information, well, the network is overloaded with the different material, and probably one of the skills to be innovative is to do good analysis of what information do we need to evaluate what innovation means. Innovation is a different set of the skills like analyzing, understanding, evaluating, self-awareness. So those are combination of the being innovative to come up with idea. So all these resources are very good to give you a hint to and to give you inspiration and motivation to innovate, because there are platforms to with the different blogs, and you can have ideas what other people are doing. So it is I think very good platforms. Those are good platforms to reference. Okay, we have different activities planned for the coming year. So we will continue to work with the Junior Achievement Program, and I'm sure in most of your countries, please, you can reach your junior achievement programs in your country, and they will have the same initiative to be implemented. So it is very nice cooperation. And also we will continue with the Georgian Youth Agency and work with the Vocational Skills Agency. We also believe that we need to work closely with the government and support them as the professionals, and giving back to society by our knowledge in project management and change management. So we also will work on promotion of the professional development materials by different webinars again, and giving lectures to the universities and institutes. Also nice what we have, the all volunteers who are involved in our project. Those are either beginners or they are looking for to advance in their career. They are seeking the advice and mentorship for us, and we provide the mentorship and advice, consultation, what knowledge and certification they can obtain. Also, we'll work on the change and transformation management awareness increase, and introduce different products or the PMI has recently introduced. So of course we will work on the transformation management and the what are the roles of primary and secondary jobs, and support the people, students and those who are seeking to in career development. So this is pretty much my presentation. I tried to combine all the new approaches that we have. The top 3 new approaches is that we work with youth very closely. We work with the agencies, national agencies in Georgia, and also we work very closely with the associations, different associations and federations, to share our knowledge and increase the awareness of the project and change management. So this is it for now, and I will be happy to take any questions if you have.
Lela, yes, Lela.
Yes.
So it was very interesting presentation, I must say. I think for such a young chapter, you really have done so many activities and all of them so innovative. And you're doing it so calm, so it's really calm and an innovative way of working. Very interesting things. For example, here in Bulgaria, we also have connection with Junior Achievement Agency. So I know it's very interesting to work with them. And you've already, it took us like 10 years to to understand it, but still you are so young and now doing all these interesting activities. Very interesting. Let me ask you, there are two questions in the platform. Can I read it to you so that you can answer?
Yeah, sure.
Of course, we have time. So, what are the core innovative thinking skills? They ask. Shall we do it one by one, or okay? Let's do it one by one. What are the
Yeah,
core
let's do
innovative
it
thinking
one
skills?
by one. Actually, the first innovative skill that I believe, this is my personal belief, is that this is analytical thinking. Analytical thinking to analyze what information is needed, what data is needed, what resources we need. So analytical skill is one of the most important innovative skill I think we need. The second skill which I think we will need is the interpretation, understanding of those data. So what these data will be useful, what information they will be useful. So another dimension of the innovation. Also what we will need is the evaluation, to evaluate properly those data and use them in the proper way. The next skill, which I believe will be very useful, is explanation, meaning the communicating it the way that the receiver understands it. So it is all part of the innovation. And the last but not least, which I believe is very important, is self-reflection, how the innovation is really being implemented, what were the steps, and where we are moving with this innovation. So those, I think, are the most important skills you will need to be innovative.
Yeah, very interesting. Yes, and two more questions from my side. I've always wondered how all the other chapters, how do they motivate their volunteers to do the job? Because you mentioned it. We all work. We're volunteers, and we all work with volunteers to happen our activities, to implement them, and to realize them. So how do you motivate your volunteers?
First of all, what we do is give them freedom, and we listen to them, because each volunteer has a purpose and value why they joined the chapter, what they expect from the chapter. So we listen what their expectations are. As I mentioned, for example, the podcast project, we never thought, because when we looked, we didn't have a capacity to do that, because it needs to be sustainable, and we at the board looked at the capacity. We thought we may not afford it. So what motivates them, it is freedom of expressing their ideas and following them and supporting them in their ideas. So all the podcast development was completely free, and we gave them all the freedom and flexibility how to develop it. How we motivate them? We share our examples also. So they see that we are using different platforms, we are sharing experience, and they also see the benefits of being with the network. So how I see how to motivate them, give them opportunity to develop. So in every new project, they learn new. So they also get involved in the sector or segment they have not been involved, but they are interested in. For example, some of the volunteers, they have never been associated with IT, but they want to be associated. We give them this opportunity. For example, some want to be involved in communication and marketing. They work in IT sphere, but this is something interesting to them. Without any background requirement, they have ability to be involved. So in this case, they learn themselves, but they also learn from other practitioners in their teams. So this is how we motivate them.
Yes, very interesting. Giving freedom, that's the most important thing. Yes. And one more. How do you handle in this COVID situation, in this pandemic situation, regarding monthly meetings, gatherings, and all these activities that need physical contact and networking?
Well, not all the meetings are nowadays physical. Actually, we have a hybrid, as probably in most of your countries. We have hybrid meetings, and we learn, we adapt. Initially, it was not easy. It was more stressful, but as fast we adapt, as easier it goes. In a chapter board, all our meetings are run remotely. We have a weekly calls, board of director calls, where we discuss the challenges, plans, and accomplishments. Also, how we actually do the webinars. Again, this is the initiatives from each of the board of director and each of the volunteer. For example, if there is idea to perform, for example, PDU, how to obtain PDUs for PMPs, we give freedom to that person because he or she believes this is value added. So actually, we tried to do surveys. This is interesting development to understand what really are the values we can create for members and volunteers. You'd be surprised that not really much involvement was in the surveys. So we thought that each of the volunteers, if they believe this is value added, we trust them and we give them freedom to create as a project that idea. So if I have answered your question, we try to be as involved and engaged in our online meetings.
Sure. Yes. Yes. Thank you for your answer. And since I don't have any more questions, I may ask our audience if they have any questions. They can continue till the end of the event. They can continue using the platform and asking questions and meeting all the other colleagues. Thank you, Lela, for this very interesting presentation. It was honor having you here at our stage, and I hope you will like and enjoy the rest of the event as well.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to share what we have done at our chapter. And I hope that it will be useful and maybe you will pick up some of the ideas, innovative ideas for your chapters as well.
Thank you.